Hi everyone, it's John from What Up and welcome back to another video. And today we're discussing everything we know about Season 3. It's going to be a big order, but we're going to try our very best to get through all of it. We'll talk about the cast, both returning and new. We're going to talk about official stuff, unofficial stuff. We'll give you sources for everything that we have today. We'll talk a bit about what we know as far as who the bad guys are going to be in the season, as well as some of the storylines, who the writers are, where the sets are, where they filmed, and what the season's going to cover. It's a pretty big video, and I'm bound to miss a few things, so if I do, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll add it to a subsequent video later on. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time all of the time. That is all we talk about, that and nothing else. If you like that sort of thing, of course, subscribe to the channel, click the like button, but tell a couple of your friends too. I'm really bad at selling the channel and myself. I rely on you folks for that, and you're doing a really fantastic job of it, so please let everyone know about What Up and kind of spread the word, so to speak. Now, since we are talking Season 3, I have to give a bit of a spoiler warning for those of you who haven't read the books or haven't seen the show yet, because we're going to talk about things. I'm going to reference stuff at least to a certain point in the books and in the show, and I'm going to ruin things for you. So, spoiler warning, if you've not read the first 4 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World Through the Shadow Rising, or if you have not seen the first 2 seasons of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show streaming right now on Prime Video, and don't want to know anything about the 3rd season, because we're going to talk heavily about that in today's video, be forewarned, I'm going to ruin plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. Alright, that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright folks, this is going to be an everything we know about Season 3 video. It's long, there's a whole lot to it. I had more at first, but I'm re-recording now because it just got too long and too clunky. I'm going to abbreviate certain sections of it as well. There's just a lot of information. We know a whole lot. I'll try to stick to the things that maybe aren't as prevalent and that we can discuss a little bit, if that makes any sense. Now, I know some of you have been sending me messages wondering where I've been at the last couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks since I made a video. We had some personal stuff come up with the family, and I'm back now. So couldn't make videos for a little bit, but I am back now, and I'm going to make this one here to try to collect my thoughts and kind of center the channel where we're at right now, and then we're going to move on to some other stuff. We're going to talk about leaks later this week. There's a ton of Wheel of Time leaks that come out the last couple of weeks that give us really big indications of what they're filming in South Africa, who's there, and what's going on. We'll have a video on that. We'll have a video on some new cast members that WatchSeries.com just released that are not going to be part of this video. So it's an addition to the everything we know about Season 3 because it is new information. We're going to do storylines, what we think we know, and how I can speculate how Season 3 is going to go. A lot of it's going to be informed speculation, if that makes any sense at all, based on leaks and other information that we already know. But we're going to try to piece together Season 3, at least block by block in another video. They're all on the burner right now. I'm actually going to record a couple of them today, and they'll be out over the next few days. Because I got a lot to catch up on here, folks. I do. So, everything we know. Hard to get at, but here we go. So, returning cast. Well, the returning cast is going to be pretty much everyone from Season 2. So, we're not going to dive into every single person in Season 2 that's returning, but you can think of the big ones for sure. Rosamund Pike is coming back as Moraine. Daniel Henney's coming back as Lan. Yosha Stradowski's coming back as Rand. Marcus Rutherford is coming back as Perrin. And then you have Donald Finn as Matt Cawthon. That's a good one. He was really, really good in Season 2 for the brief periods he was there. I was really impressed with the recast from Barney Harris from Season 1. We're also getting back, of course, Nynaeve, Egwene, Elaine, all of the main cast. At the end, we'll be back Bane, Chiad, all of the people that we've seen near the end of Season 2. They're all going to be in Season 3. Same cast, same characters. The White Cloaks are coming back, with the exception of Joffrey Bornhold, because we all know he met an untimely fate in the finale of Season 2. But Dane will be back. He's going to be a major part of Season 3. So that's all the returning cast. We're going to focus now on some new characters and casts that are coming out, including some ones that are returning that people maybe didn't expect or kind of did. First one's going to be Alexander William as Tom. He's back. He's back for Season 3, and I've released a couple of different places that he will be in the Tenchiko storyline, along with Matt Cawthon, Nynaeve, Elaine, Min, and a few others. That's where they're going to meet him and kind of meet up. I think I talked about that in the Dusty Wheel last week, but he is back for Season 3. You will see him in his full Gleeman regalia, including a Gleeman cloak. We've already seen one of those in Season 2. Tom's wearing one in Season 3. I'm pretty excited about that. But he is back for Season 3. Then we have Maren Alvear. Now, Maren Alvear was played by Lolita Chakrabarty in Season 1. That's Egwene's mom, but she is not returning. She has been recast, so Rena Mahoney is this lady right here. She's going to play Marin Alvear for season 3. And then we have a bunch of new casts. So these are people that are going to be brand new to season 3 that have not been in the show yet at all. These are the ones we're really going to dive into here. All right, folks, I want to remind you guys before we jump into the new castings for season 3 that these are unofficial, so take them with a little grain of salt. They don't come to us from Amazon or Sony. They come to us from various leaked sources, which I will tell you about as we go through them. We'll talk about the actor or the actress's name, the character they're playing if we know it, or the characters we speculate that they're playing, and then finally we'll talk about where the leak came from for each one of these cast members. First one is Olivia Williams. She is going to be playing Queen Morghese in season 3, and this comes to us from WatchSeries.com. For one, I'm pretty happy that we're getting some more Andorran royals, other than Elaine in the show, because they are some of the my favorite parts of the books. And speaking of people associated with Andorran royalty, we have Shohreh Aghdashloo. She is best known for The Expanse. She's an incredible actress, and she's going to be playing Elaida in season 3. Now, this leak comes from 2 separate sources. The first source was the fact that Shohreh was actually on set in an Andorran setting early on in season 2. Or season 3 when they were filming, rather, and that comes to us from WatchSeries.com, and then I was able to ascertain her role, so I was able to release the fact that she was actually playing Elaida, and that comes to us from yours truly. Next, we have Callum Kerr. Now, Callum Kerr is speculated playing Galad. Now, when this came out, I believe his CV said Galad Trakand, but that's not a character's name in the book series. It's not Galad's last name, so it's likely they either changed it, or it's a typo, or it was just going to be that way for the show because it's easier to explain that rather than having multiple different last names and then going into the whole family dynamic between the Damodarids and the Trakands and Rand, and it just gets kind of messy. I think that's a whole other video. Anyway, this comes to us from WatchSeries.com, and we do think he's playing Galad for season 3. Now we have Luke Featherston. Now Luke Featherston does not have a role for season 3, and this comes to us from WatchSeries.com, but it is speculated that he is either playing Jondwyn, which is Rand's real father from the book series, the Aiel clan chief, or perhaps Gowon Trakand, which Gowon's my favorite character, and I think Luke would make an excellent Gowon, and I'm very excited to see if that's the case when season 3 comes out. Now we have Isabella Bukhari. She is going to be playing Faile for season 3. This leak comes to us from yours truly. I released this last year during the middle of season 2. Next we have Jared Dorak. Jared Dorak is going to be playing Caridin. He is going to be in season 3 of the show. I for one can't wait to see more White Cloaks on screen. I want them to get a little bit more screen time than they've had. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And this leak comes to us from yours truly. I released this last year. Now we have Rebecca Root. Rebecca Root is going to be playing Lelian Akashi, Lelian Sedai. I'm not going to tell you her title because that'll spoil things beyond the 4th book. However, this comes to us from Redanian Intelligence, and she will be joining us for season 3. Next, we have Nuno Lopez. He is going to be in the show. However, the character is unknown at this point. This comes to us from WatchSeries.com. We have Rakasha Hoost. She's going to be Cheyenne, and this comes to us from Watt series, so she'll be joining the cast for season 3. And then we have 2 actors, Iman Marsan and Ian Atween. They both come to us from Watt series. We are unsure of their roles. We have no idea what they're going to be playing for season 3, although they were seen in and around filming in the Czech Republic and other areas, and then they also left the country at the same time and posted together on social media, so that's how we speculate that they're in the show. We have Ulamadide Ulrun Femi. I'm probably pronounced that wrong, and I do apologize if I did. She's going to be playing Ispan in season 3, and that leak comes from yours truly. I released that last year during season 2. We have Rob McLaughlin. He's going to be playing Jacques Lonalt. This comes to us from WatchSeries.com. We're not entirely sure how he's going to fit into the show, but I'm pretty excited to see him on screen either way. And we have a couple of other ones here. So we have Teresa Duskova. We know that she's going to be playing Magrin in episodes 3 and 4. So we have a little more information on this one here. Thomas Napper is going to direct both those episodes, and that comes to us from WatchSeries.com. And we have 2 last castings. Anthony K. He comes to us from WatchSeries.com. And in fact, I believe it was one of WatchSeries.com's Discord members that found this out. There were some blurred headshots in the back of a post on Instagram, and the people in the community and the fandom just kind of went went ham, and they figured out who some of these headshots were, and he was in one of the headshots. So we know he's in season 3. Not entirely sure the character he's going to be playing though. So thanks Watt Series for that one. And then finally we have GM Camille. She will also be in this show for season 3. Unsure of the role she'll be playing, but this also comes to us from WattSeries.com. All right, now we know 2 separate episode titles for season 3. The first one is To Race the Shadow. It's from chapter 47 of The Dragon Reborn. This comes to us directly from the WGA website, so it is an officially confirmed thing, at least when it was released. We're not sure if it'll stay that way, but that's what it is right now. And that chapter has to deal with Matt Cawthon. I don't believe it is going to be fully the same as the book series, because we are not anywhere close to that particular storyline in the show at this point. But we've seen that with a bunch of other episode titles. They tend to be chapter titles. The chapter titles either are very loosely related to the episode in some way, shape, or form, or could be roundaboutly related. They're not directly related. So I think that's what they're kind of going for here. We also know episode 7 will be Golden Eyes. I'm pretty excited for that one, because that does show that we're getting Lord Perrin Golden Eyes in the show. And in fact, when I do my speculation, we have a ton of leaks surrounding the Two Rivers as well that I want to talk about, that gives us a big indication of what's going to be happening in that storyline. That'll be in another speculation video later on. We also know we're getting a new Forsaken. We're not sure who that is, though. We think it's Samael, but we're not 100%. We do know that there were some leaked casting auditions, like the scripts themselves, that indicated there was another Forsaken who was a general, who was captured by somebody very strong in the power, but he did not seem too concerned about that. So we know we're getting Moghedien for season 3, because she ended up at the very end of season 2. We know Lanfear will be there. Samael is, for all intents and purposes, I don't believe coming back, because he was killed at the end of season 2. And it's not going to be like the books where he repeatedly comes back and Rand fights him 3 separate times on 3 separate occasions, because that gets kind of boring. It was one of the complaints I think a few people had about the book series, myself included. So I don't think he's going to be fought a 3rd time in the show. I think he's done gonzo forever. But we're getting a 3rd Forsaken also in the next season. One of the male Forsaken, we think Samael, but we're not 100% certain on that. And that comes to us from a bunch of different sources, but it was also mentioned at New York Comic Con last year by, I believe, Ray Shawkins, the showrunner. Locations and sets. So there were a ton of different locations and sets for season 3. And we're going to talk about them and the writers, and then we'll talk about the storylines. So they filmed in the Czech Republic, Slovenia, South Africa. They had a Two Rivers set, Tenchiko, which was also filmed in a soundstage and on set, Roydian, and they did film a lot of the Aiel Waste, we believe, in South Africa. So we have a ton of different spots that we're sure they filmed in, but we're not entirely sure what was filmed there, because a lot of the stuff was also filmed on sound stages, like actual closed sets where we can't see, not just outdoor built sets. So we're not 100% sure we're getting every single location here, but we do know that Andor was one of those locations, because Shorg was on set with a bunch of Andoran banders around her, so that's also there. And we know the White Tower is also there from leaked photos. There's a ton of other spots that were filmed on that, but they are filmed on closed sets where we couldn't really see anything, and there was no real leaked pictures from. Confirmed plots for season 3. So these are confirmed through a bunch of different ways, but we know of Battle of the Two Rivers, and a lot of the plots from book 4 will mainly show up in season 3. That comes to us from New York Comic Con 2023. We know that Rafe Judkins had mentioned that dreamwalking will be a part of the 3rd season, so Egwene will finally start dreamwalking and learning about the Aiel Wise Ones and the Dreamers. We know the Sea Folk will also be in season 3, and that comes to us from New York Comic Con 2023. We know we're getting the glass columns. We know that from leaks, as well as some other indications in articles that were written. Tenchiko, for sure, that was mentioned by both Rafe Judkins as well as a couple of other people associated with season 3. And I released a whole leaks video on Tenchiko and the Tenchiko storyline. And I know for sure that we're getting Elaine, Nynaeve, Leandrin, Ispan, Moghedien, Matt, Min, and Tom. They'll all be within that plot line and that storyline in the show. And unfortunately, I think that means that Matt may not go to the Waste. Who knows? Maybe he'll do some other things prior to going to Tenchiko with the girls to chase the Black Aja, to kind of account for some of the things that happened to him in the Waste, which were honestly some of my favorite Matt moments in the books. I don't know how they're going to reconcile that, but I hope they figure out a good way to do it. There's some audition scripts that were leaked. We know that Couladin will be in season 3, at least according to an audition script, because it's him talking to some other Aiel. Will, Alcine, and Perrin had an audition script. Senbui and Perrin, and there was that audition script that we mentioned earlier that featured that Forsaken, who we believe is Samael, but we're not 100% sure on that. They were a general. They were very brash. They were very arrogant, and even though they were captured, they didn't seem really concerned, because they didn't consider the person who captured them really human, because they were very primitive according to them. So sounds a lot like Samael, but it also sounds a lot like every other male Forsaken, so who knows. Writers for the 3rd season, a lot of the same writers we had in the last couple seasons, and as well as some new faces. We have Rafe Judkins, Rami Parker, Amanda Kate Schumann, Justine Gilmer, Dave Hill, Catherine McKenna, Ajoke Ibernoki, Beverly Okayo, Isabella Whiteman. Directors. Now this is kind of interesting, because we know a lot of the directors for season 3 when we didn't know them for season 2. We know Kieran Donnelly is going to be the lead director and executive producer for both Block 1 and Block 4. So that's episodes 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. And Kieran has shown that he's really good at action. So I expect that we'll see a ton of action in the first couple episodes and in the last couple episodes. Thomas Napper is going to be doing Block 2. Marta Cunningham will be on episodes 5 and 6 of season 3. So season 3 began filming April 17th. They had a break between August and September last year. Prague had a wrap party at October 28th last year. And some of the posts went out on social media. Priyanka Bose actually released some of these posts and deleted them shortly afterwards, because the fandom kind of like went nuts. We do that for all their social media posts. We thought they had wrapped filming, but they didn't. And they went on to film in South Africa. They started filming February 12th, and they finished filming March 30th in South Africa. So they filmed for quite some time. Now, if we take a look at some other things, we had about 3 months between the end of the filming of season 2 and the green light for season 3, or at least the public announcement of it. And I've been told that we likely won't see a green light for season 4 prior to July of this year, which kind of fits in with that timeline. And it makes total sense. They want to make sure that they get their ducks in a row before they officially announce a green lit season 4. When are we going to see season 3? My guess, and I'm pretty confident in this, is going to be early fall 2025. Yeah, you heard that right. Lord of the Rings is this fall. We're not going to get Wheel of Time, I don't think, until early fall next year. It could change. That could be, I hope it's earlier. I really do. But if I had to guess, that's likely when we're going to see season 3 released, which is a long ways away. I'm glad we have some content to make videos to kind of stave off the longing in between. All right. I would go through speculation on what all the storylines for season 3 are, but the video is already kind of lengthy, and I want to save that for a full other video. So watch out for that one coming soon. We're going to do a full speculation on everything we're going to see in season 3, and I'm excited for that one because it's informed speculations. We know a ton about season 3 right now, and I love kind of putting the puzzle pieces together. So folks, watch out for that. And again, please tell some friends about the channel. We're going to start seeing some more regular videos based on theories and stuff for season 3, as well as we're going to do a deep dive back into the books. That's a new series coming out. We're going to do more of the changes from books to show. We have a ton of other projects lined up to kind of keep us through for the next year and a half. It's kind of depressing when you say it out loud like that, but it's true. We have a long time before season 3, but I do have a lot planned for you folks, and I love making this kind of content, so I'm pretty excited for that. All right. Thank you so very much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.